Hello and welcome back everyone to my channel where I develop a casual exploring game called Tranquil Waters. The game, set in the 1700s, follows a pirate amidst a ruined archipelago, seeking help from NPCs to restore the island and uncover the riches. The game story is still in progress, so don't worry, but this is the basic theme. Anyways, today I wanted to showcase to you guys the beginning of the archipelago construction. So, since I'm not a very good world designer myself, I thought to myself, well, wow, isn't Mother Nature a beautiful world designer herself? So I thought to myself, well, I can maybe just take some islands from the real world and make them into an archipelago. Why reinvent the wheel? But it was a bit harder than I expected. Finding islands with the exact criteria I needed was no easy task. For example, I didn't want too large mountains, I didn't want the actual island to be too large or too little, and so on. But there was hope after all. I found an archipelago that really fitted all of the things that I needed, and it was the Seychelles archipelago. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. But anyways, this archipelago can be found just above Madagascar actually. So now that I knew kind of a good location, I needed to retrieve the elevation data so that I can put the height map into Unreal Engine and be done with it basically. And when I thought everything started going smoothly, I got hit by a big problem. The website that I used to retrieve height maps for Unreal Engine, a website in the description, did not have a very good resolution of the elevation data from the archipelago. The closest resolution I could find was 90 meters per pixel, but most of the land on Earth was captured with 30 meters per pixel with newer technologies and the newer satellites. And I suppose the archipelago just hasn't really gotten the update sadly, but that was just one of the problems. Even when I tried rendering the image at 90 meters per pixel, it would break halfway, and I would just get like a complete white image, and it was not going great. But I decided to not give up that easily. I spent weeks searching every corner of the internet to find a good resolution of the Seychelles archipelago, and I did manage to find some. It was somewhere on a US government website, that's how far I had to search. But the problem is that Unreal Engine only takes height maps as a grayscale image, where black is 0 elevation and white is just some z-scale that you get to define basically. That's why I used the website I mentioned previously, because it is the only one I could have found that gave you the information how Unreal Engine wants. So sadly, I decided to not waste any more time and look for another place. After some time, I tracked down a group of islands in Greece, they got plenty of them, and went to check if the resolution was good, and it actually was. So I rendered the image and did some calculations I found online to get a 1:1 scale, and as you can see, it did not really work as planned. The z-scale is like way too high, and it just did not work. So I did some more research and found another set of calculations on how to actually make the landscape 1:1 scale. But for that, I needed to somehow measure how large the rendered image would be in the real world. Thankfully, Google Maps has that feature implemented, and all I needed to do was ensure that longitude and latitude were as close to possible as the image, and the same thing with the zoom level of the image. Now, get ready for the maths. I mean, I'm just kidding, it's not that difficult, so let me break it down for you. So in landscape mode in Unreal Engine, it is typical to have 1 meter equal to 1 pixel, since in this case the island is 27.45 kilometers in width and our height map resolution is 1879 pixels in width. We know that 1 meter is 1 pixel, so we can basically just convert kilometers to meters and divide it by the resolution width. This will give us a scale value that we need to scale by to get a true 1:1 ratio. Then we can do the same thing with the y-axis of the image, and for the z-scale I use the same equation as before that I found on Unreal Engine's docs. Basically get the highest elevation from the image and multiply it by 100, and then simply convert to Unreal units by dividing the number by 1/512. And as you can see, this now does look a bit more realistic and how it should look. Now of course we don't really need a true 1:1 scale because I mean this is kind of too big and I definitely do not have enough content to fill up the entire island. So I'm simply gonna divide the landscape by 4, which makes the island now a 1:4 scale basically. Anyways, that was kind of the gist of it. Now I can simply do the same with more islands. While the time-lapse is active, I just want to throw in a subscribe button in here because, you know, this video has taken a long time to create and subscribing only takes like 1 second. Yeah, I know, I had to do it, I'm sorry. Anyways, back to the video. Alright, so you can see I imported quite a few islands into Unreal, and I do believe this is enough for now. The great thing with archipelagos is that if we ever need more space, we can always just add another island. The last thing I wanted to fix were removing these unnecessary tiles where the elevation is simply 0, just to help optimize the game a bit. I also spent a few days trying to find an automatic way to do this. I mean, Unreal Engine does provide a way to get rid of this, but I still have to do it manually, and if you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comment section. Anyways, I went ahead and did the most I could do manually. I also added the low poly material, but it's just green for now. I will of course be changing this in the future. And I believe this is all I can show you today. I am very sorry the video took as long as this. It was not my initial plan, but there were quite a few problems that I did not anticipate. However, we do have islands in the game now, at least kind of. So in the next video I will be looking to optimize the landscape a bit more and also adding some more details into them. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.